Hi and welcome to my wee channel, The Wandering Kilt. Today's video is Greenock, a town on the south bank of the so-called Tail of the Clyde. It's home to the smartest dogs in the world, judging by the pavements. These smart pooches must be able to read, as I didn't see any dog fouling. Only kidding, of course. The town's name has been spelled differently through the ages: Greenock, Greenhawk, Greenock, and finally Greenock. Records dating back to 1296 show the lands belonging to Hugh de Greenock. After the Scottish Reformation of 1560, all the chapels were closed in the area, and as the local parish church was 6 miles away in Inverkip, a place impassable in the winter, a charter from King James VI was obtained to build a kirk for the poor fisher folk. The old kirk was constructed and is reputed to be the first Protestant church built in Scotland. The Firth of Clyde has always played a large part in the lives of the people of Greenock. The Bay of Quick, a safe harbour, dates back to 1164, and the fishing boats flourished here, with barrels of salted herring a big export. Later on, the tobacco lords of Glasgow looked to purchase land for a deep-water harbour, but were hampered at every turn, and pack horses of tobacco made their way to the city. From 1770, imports of rum and sugar, wines and fish, and a busy whaling station made sure that Greenock was a popular destination. It was such a thriving place that a custom house was built and ran from 1714. By 1812, the first steamboat service in Europe ran between Glasgow, Helensburgh and of course Greenock, from the famed Steamboat Quay. If you take some time and have a look around Greenock, you can see the wealth that was in this area during the 18th and 19th century. The Clyde Torpedo Factory opened in 1910, making, torpedoes obviously, and was fully operational until 1959. The old West Kirk was moved in 1926, brick by brick, to accommodate shipbuilding. And of course the Second World War didn't bypass Greenock either. On the night of the 6th and 7th of May 1941, the town suffered what was known as the Greenock Blitz, bombed by over 300 German bombers. The area was used as a marshalling point for most of the Atlantic convoys, and as a base for the Royal Navy's home fleet. Greenock at one time was the 6th largest town in Scotland, but has fallen on hard times recently. Greenock can claim to be the home of the first Burns Club, founded in 1801, and held the first Burns Supper on the 29th of February. Oops, schoolboy error. They later realised his birthday was actually on the 25th. Oh well. Famous folk from the area: James Watt, engineer. Famous not really for inventing the steam engine, but enhancing it, as he found that by using the spent energy with a separate condenser, you could get more power with less fuel. Good stuff. Victor Meldrew, the actor, Richard Wilson, Chick Murray, the ribald Scottish comedian, and a name not too famous now is Henry Robertson Bowers, whose nickname was Birdie. He accompanied Scott of Antarctica on the polar expedition that ended in tragedy. All lost their lives returning from the South Pole in 1912. You can't mention Greenock without mentioning the Tun. I have travelled through to Greenock quite a few times, most of the times football related of course. Unfortunately, visiting supporters tend to be herded towards Capello. Watch the game and you kind of leave without seeing much of the place. In recent times it was infamous as being the prison that held Abdel Basset al-Megrahi, easy for me to say, the Libyan convicted of the Lockerbie bombing, and he was locked up here from 2005 to 2009. I think I've talked enough, so hey, let's just get on with it. Well, that was Greenock, a place that's still got quite a big town centre. I love looking at all the great architecture around about, and recently the town has seen a big increase in tourism, driven by the massive cruise ships that come down the Firth of Clyde. The deep water port is ideal for these floating behemoths. As to what they think as their first view of Scotland being Greenock, rather than, say, Oban or Edinburgh, must be interesting. Hopefully it is positive though. Have you subscribed yet? If not, maybe you could think about it, as it's free and it helps my wee channel. I hope you didn't misconstrue when I was saying that Abdel Asset Abel Megrahi was confined. He wasn't confined to Capel, the home of Greenock Morgan. He was actually confined in Greenock prison. Anyway, as I look at the big clock on the wall, I see that once again it's time to go, so until the next time,